It will always go back to kung kailangan mo talaga yung pera ngayon. Kung di mo kailangan, then that lessens your worry. Kung may cash flow ka, then that lessens your worry. If you have savings, then that lessens your worry. If you have other investments, then that lessens your worry. For example, meron kang 10 million. You see the markets drop. What if this drops to 50%? 10 million to 5 million. Is it something that you can tolerate? Because if it's something that you can tolerate, okay lang. Hey guys, so in this video, I want to share how I perceive investing in 2021, what has changed in the way that I would go about my style for investing. And I think this fits a lot of those who've sent questions. What I realized, now those of you subscribe to the channel, there's a large chunk of you who are entrepreneurs, professionals, those that have climbed up the ladder, and then majority of those following me or at least subscribe to this channel, a lot of you are my age, meaning you've been working most likely more than 15 years already. So meron na kayong adequate savings, meron na rin kayong ibang investments, you already own your own properties, your sources of income, either your job or the businesses that you have built. You're just really investing primarily for the long term. And what's interesting also, if you are younger, this is something also that will help you because this is a heads up of what you can do also down the road. This is a heads up of ano yung pwede mong gawin later on, because when I was younger, I wanted pure growth, and I was thinking that the investments that I put my money into, it's something that will bring me a lot of money. Pero once you get older also, what I've realized is you see investments as a storer of value. For example, you have 10 million pesos in cash, put it in the bank stores your 10 million pesos. But the narrative there is sayang siya, it may be liquid pero talo siya ng inflation. The perception of when you start to invest as you get older, it's not just a storer of value, but you look for something that as you store it there, you leave it there, it gives you a chance to either get cash flow or to earn more. And I think this is something that's very, very timely. We're seeing a lot of volatility in the Philippine markets brought about by all the uncertainty that's going on. We saw the past few days some downward volatility in the US markets, pero yesterday it was up. Then ganun din for Bitcoin, for more than a week it was down, but then it started to push up once again. I realized that nagbabago yung the way I allocate and the way I would think of things. The more I got exposed to the crypto market and the US markets, I saw that parang for trading, I'd like to trade the ones that have larger volume. In the Philippines right now, my strategy will be twofold or threefold. I will focus on position trading, meaning once we see clarity in the Philippine economy, how this lockdown will go, how the vaccines will be rolled out, how we find ways to help people right now that have been displaced. Every time uncertainty is out, it gives clarity also for investors to buy something at a much higher price. That means also right now, while a lot are either still at the lows or dropping still or starting to build a base at the lower portion but have not fully escaped the downtrend, I'll be patient, I'll just wait. Second one is for investing. I'm positioning already. I was actually active in my investment portfolios last week. I was positioning already, not for what could be the gains for this year, but what could be the gains when everything starts to recover. So I've been picking up a lot of conglomerates, the ones that I know will be built to last, the ones that I know will be resilient enough and be innovative to get past this virus. And also the banks. I've been saying it over and over that a lot of the banks that we have right now are very undervalued. They will survive this pandemic, especially the big ones, but it will be a long waiting period. The ones that have stayed in the lower consolidation levels, I have been picking them up. And tanggap ko, for example, if I bought something, it drops, I will always put a level of cash na naka-ready so that I will always have a chance to buy it always lower. But na walang nangyari sa kanya ngayon, it doesn't go anywhere this 2021, I'll be willing to hold on to it with the chance that while it's lower, I just continually build volume. And if you've been noticing what I've been sharing, it's always about volume. Better build volume when stocks are down. And the reason why I set the context of this, madami pa kayong ibang investments, madami pa kayong ibang savings, may cash flow na pumapasok. So there's really no urgency to look at the stock market or at least Philippine stocks as a savior for your portfolio. So you have the ability to be able to withstand waiting for it. Siguro I'll deem that as my investing core, that I'll just keep on positioning into them, especially that they're a bit weak, and especially that there's a lot of uncertainty. So if you're asking me what was more active last week, yung position trading portfolio ko or my investing core portfolio, I spent a lot of time trying to pick up stocks from my investing core portfolio. And what I realized also, since we are still in the pandemic and I don't know how long this will go, I continued accumulating companies that are highly connected to the bare essentials. So not just the groceries, alam niyo naman I've been talking about pure gold over and over. Also the ones that yung binibenta sa mga pure gold. So the canned items that are there. I've been pretty much active also buying stocks that have been giving me dividends. Some of them na gusto ko talagang pasukan, hindi bumababa eh. Meron mga bumaba, the telcos, I think their dividend yield, especially last week, were very, very attractive. And then some utility companies, except yung, I really like SPC. I think that's something that's very attractive for me because long-term predictability of high dividends. If I could pick it up at a lower price, that would be nice. By the way, update also on dividends, no? Semirara declared their dividends. It's pretty high. I think it's in the 9-10% area. Now, DMC also gave out dividends. I think it's around the 7-8%, depending on where you would buy it. In the same way, GMA7, that's why you saw a large push up, primarily because they're giving out dividends for a very, very long time. At least for my dividend portfolio, no, I don't have GMA7 right now. It was respectable kasi nalala ko yun at 5 pesos, the dividends that were giving me around 10+%. So that was very, very good. Pero ngayon, it's insane eh. For those who bought this earlier, at 5 pesos, tapos they're giving out 1.25. So the dividends alone that you're getting is way above the 20% mark. But for those who bought it at 7, ganun pa rin, that's still a very, very high dividends. You're getting it probably around the 16 to 18% range. And the reason why I've started to shift for more of the quick trades outside is I like the volume, and there's a lot also of volatility. Not a lot of stocks in the Philippines have a lot of volume and have a lot of volatility. And pag busy ka sa umaga sa Pilipinas, you can still trade US markets anytime. It's easier for you to be able to watch it and track it and still maintain your business, your job, your freelance work, whatever you're doing. Philippine markets, position trading, or long-term investing, positioning on stocks that I believe will come out of this pandemic, that they will come out okay. Then the dividend stocks. For US stocks, ganun din, nakasplit yung portfolio. There's some stocks there that I love for the long term, especially Facebook. I've held for a very, very long time already. There are some companies kasi that because you believe in it so much, that you like it so much, that you will hold on to it for a long time. So it's a position also for the long term. Either the ones that I believe will innovate, disrupt, and will be part of humanity 10 years into the future. And because they're so exciting today, they're worth putting a bet on. Pero I'm also trading. So that's where I've been more active in terms of doing quick trades. Minsan nga, nakaka-tempt magbenta intraday also. Something that I would not normally do in Philippine markets. But difference for US stocks is the ability to see news on a global scale. It's easier to see the data because it gets pumped out by a lot of avenues that share the information. And then ganun din for cryptocurrencies. I've been spending a lot of time in it, not just trading but also their savings pool, also staking it, and then trying to learn more about the different cryptocurrencies. And I'm sure you saw my video about my favorite holdings and the ones that I'm also learning for the past days. People are saying, paano yan? What if it crashes once again? What if the market goes down? It will always go back to kung kailangan mo talaga yung pera ngayon. Kung di mo kailangan, then that lessens your worry. Kung may cash flow ka, then that lessens your worry. If you have savings, then that lessens your worry. If you have other investments, then that lessens your worry. For example, meron kang 10 million. You see the markets drop. I think the question you need to ask yourself, what if this drops to 50%? 10 million to 5 million. Is it something that you can tolerate? Because if it's something that you can tolerate, okay lang. And then if you have cash also, and then bumagsak siya 50%, then that even becomes also a buying opportunity for you as well. And then again, please remember that as long as you have cash flow na pumapasok, as long as you have savings, then it should be okay. A lot of the stocks, no, although they have corrected already, Tesla from 900 bumagsak pa to 500 plus. Then you have tech companies from Shopify to Square to PayPal to Palantir, which I all like. We've seen some downward movements for them. It's I think it's the ones nga that are relatively established, yung medyo safe, the Amazons, the Googles, the Facebooks. To counteract my tech and innovation, I buy a lot of big brands that are number one in their field. The P&Gs, the Unilevers, the Starbucks, the Nikes. I like them myself, and I know a large chunk of people also like them. That's why it will be harder to beat. And there's some companies that I would like and I would buy as a fan of them. That because I'm a fan of them and I know that what they sell is something that's really, really good. And it's really run by good people. One of them is Shake Shack. I've been a fan of Shake Shack for quite some time now. I first ate at Shake Shack around 2014. yeah, shout out to May Mendoza, Janice, and Karen who brought me to Shake Shack. It was in Dubai at first, and then after that, I really loved it. Everywhere I go na may Shake Shack, nung wala pa sa Pilipinas dati, I would try to eat as much of it as possible. Pero I'm not even a burger fan. It's just that Shake Shack is just really, really good. It's more of how you allocate it for the long term. And I forgot to mention this. I think I'm gonna focus also now on real estate that's gonna produce cash flow for me. I've started already getting into condos that as you enter them, the main intent is just to have it rented out. And I've been realizing this at the start of 2021 na totoo, mas madaming sakit ng ulo siya as compared to stocks. Pagkabenta mo or pagkahawak mo, you just wait for the dividends or pagka-take profit mo tapos na. It's really very entrepreneurial if you want to go to the real estate / condo route also. And especially now that we are in the pandemic, that it's tougher, I think, to get tenants, and it's tougher also since a lot of people are not rushing into the cities because a lot of them can do work from home and then they're staying away. But what I like from that is in times like this is what allows me to also learn. This is what allows me also to get better. So there, I'm just sharing bits and pieces of how my strategy is, I think, for investing at least for 2021. And it's interesting though because April 1 ngayon. So, hindi to April Fools, but what I normally do, and you can try this every quarter, try to reassess your portfolio, your savings, your investments. If you want to reassess also how you did your trades, pwede din. But that's what I did, and that's what I saw no over the past few weeks. Sabi ko parang nagbago the way I would invest, nagbago the way I would deploy capital, and as I started to audit everything, I realized siguro as I got older, the way I would position also change, and the way that you're not just chasing after $1 or $2 or $3, but you're looking after the general health of your portfolio. So best advice for that are following me, that are doctors, that are lawyers, that are entrepreneurs, that are business people, that are top executives in the companies, that you can always treat your investments as something that stores your value. Above and beyond that, you can treat your investments and your assets as something that could beat inflation for the long term, that could give you cash flow, but in turn, it's a good complement to what your main source of income is. It's a good complement to what your business is, but in the same way, it's what will give you confidence that you can take more risks right now, especially if you're in the prime of your years, because you have already established your savings, you have established your assets, and you've already established your cash flow. I hope it made sense. This is more of sharing my style, my narrative for investing for 2021, and kung ano yung nagbago. I don't know if it will be like this up until the end of the year, or if it will, this is something that I will carry on for the next decade. But na-realize ko ang laki ng pinagbago from the time I started out in 2007 when I first started my own investments. So if you guys are new to this, by the way, my name's Marvin Germo, and in the descriptions below, I have links to 1,000+ videos in YouTube. I also have links to my online Zoom technical analysis class, which is happening this May. These are for people naman who want to learn technical analysis to trade Philippine, US, and cryptocurrency markets, because that's the power of technicals. You can trade any market in the world. Then right after that, I have books, 5 of them right now. They're all still hard copies. I'm working on an ebook which hopefully will come out this 2021. I'm doing my best to make it work, but all of hard copy books that I have are available Shopee, National Bookstore, and Lazada. Ways you can reach me is you can message me via Instagram and Patreon. And for those who want to trade cryptocurrency markets and US markets, I have brokerages down below. Also yung mga wallets na pwede nyo gamitin if you want to store your cryptocurrencies that's safer already, that's not connected to the internet. So it's all in the description below, plus all of the details about me as well. So if you like this, appreciate it. If you could share it to your friends, you could press the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Just a test for those who are staying till the end. Naghanap ako ng mga condos that I could possibly also position into na pwedeng paparentahan later on. If you are selling anything or may kilala kayo na nagbebenta in the BGC area, that would be interesting. For lots naman, maybe somewhere in the Alabang or in the New Valley area, or maybe somewhere in the Calamba area as well. So those particular areas, if you have some, slide a DM, Patreon or IG, and yun. If you stayed up until then, comment real estate if you did. So that's it for now. Marvin Germo. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, and God bless you all.